Come on. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to our first Premier Camp virtual camp session. My name is Coach Buchi. I'm the coach of the men's team here at Illinois, and thank you all for tuning in to this first session. Like I said, this is our Premier Camp 1. We've got a couple of differences between our individual and our Premier. Our individual has kind of been our flagship camp that we do a lot of the basics, and you know, a lot of you have probably attended an individual camp. And then our Premier Camp is just that one step up. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into different reads and talking about basketball on just a little bit of a different level. So those that have not attended our individual camp but are still watching this Premier Camp 1, I'm sure you guys will be fine. You'll be able to catch a lot of the stuff that we're doing, but there might be some terminology and things that we'll be talking about that you might have to talk about with some teammates, or maybe just attend with the individual camp for next year for us too. So basically what we want to talk about is why we do the difference and what we're building onto for our next session. So we've done two Premier Camps, or sorry, we have two Premier Camps, this one and the next one that's going to be on Thursday. And then we have 3 individual camp ones. We've got the Monday and the Wednesday, and then we have our workout on Friday. We encourage you to sign up for both of them. I think that would be great. And there's still an opportunity to sign up for it if you haven't done so. Next session is going to be our individual one, where I'm going to be taking 2-on-2 offense, and then Steph's going to be taking 2-on-2 defense, and that'll be a Premier one as well. Yeah, and then Friday we have our ATC, our athletic trainer, Connor, that's going to be taking you through some workouts on the Friday. So that's a part of the individual camp sign up. Make sure you sign up for that one. Today, we're going to be talking about one-on-one offense, breaking down a lot of things that way. A lot of the session that we're going to be going through, we're going to be jumping onto the whiteboard, and we're going to be going with some video. We've got a lot of video clips from our USA men's team through the Rio tournament, so that'll be good to get some perspective that way. So I challenge you to grab a pen and paper and get ready to take some notes, and we're going to jump into it. So before we talk about what we do on offense, we've got to talk about the actual breakdown of what offense looks for us. So we're going to throw up a graphic here. We're going to do a little bit of a breakdown for possessions. So if you really consider the breakdown, can you go a little bit bigger with that? Okay, we're good. So hopefully you guys can read that first a little bit there, but we're going to do the breakdown of basketball possession. And these are just going to be general numbers, but I want to try to get an idea of what we're talking about for offense and how much offense really means having the ball in your hand. So let's just talk about generals of a 40-minute game. And we're going to say that half of the time your team is on offense in that 40-minute time block. So we're down to 20 minutes of offense. Then from there, we're going to talk about that every 30 seconds of a possession is probably going to be transition based. You're going to be transitioning from when you were on defense to then going onto the offensive end. And so then that means 20 seconds or 13 minutes of the game is actual half-court offense where you're going to be interacting with the ball in a half-court setting where it's within your range, that's going to be within your shooting range, because I'm assuming the majority of you don't have a clean, consistent half-court shot. So let's break that down now. So we've done the 20 seconds each possession, and that's 13 minutes of the game. And now we're going to break down the top 2 shooters that are out there of the 5 compared to the next 3 of that 5, along with, let's consider 2 bench players. So let's say that we're going to be playing 7 deep for this one. So let's just say that the top 2 shooters are going to average about 60% of the time they're going to have possession of the ball. Okay, so out of that 13 minutes in the game, I mean 7 of those minutes is going to be, the ball is going to be in the hands of the top 2 shooters. And this is not talking about actual shooting. This is just the ball in their hands. Then compared to the 40% of the possession would be in the next 3 and those bench players that sub in and will be a part of it. So I want you to take a second and consider what your position is in the team you currently play for and what position are you in these shooters. Are you the top 2 of the shooters on your team, or are you in that next 3 of the 2 bench? So let's break it down to a next level there too. Now we're going to talk about those top 2 shooters. So that means that if there's 2 shooters and they've got it for 7 minutes, they've got to split that time. So that means 3.5 minutes, again, roughly, would be with the ball, but then 36.5 minutes without the ball. And you can see the breakdown there from 9% to 91%. So 9% with the ball, 91% without. So that means every 30 seconds, you'll have the ball in your hands for 2.7 seconds, just on an average. But now let's even talk about those that are going to be the next 3 and the 2 bench players. The next 3 and the 2 bench that are coming in to sub, with them having 5 minutes and 5 people in there, they're going to have the ball for a minute. That's 2.5%. And so that means 39 minutes, almost the entire game, they're going to not have the ball. For every 30 seconds, they're going to literally have the ball for 0.75 seconds. So now why do we break this down? Why are we talking about this? It's because the majority of the time that you're going to be playing offense, you're going to be not having the basketball. So what we've got to do is we got to talk more about what to do without the ball. All right. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is assessing your matchup. So assessing your matchup, the first thing we're going to talk about with assessing matchup is a mismatch. So mismatch can be a variety of different things. What we talk about is the height of the person. So let's say that you have a height advantage on top of the person there. You might be getting close to the basket. You're able to shoot over top of them. It could be a strength thing. You could be a little bit stronger than the person you're going against. Consider it being a classification issue where they might be a lower classification than you, so you might be able to muscle them that way. You might have a speed mismatch on them. You might be able to get to the location where you want to be before they do, so you've got an advantage that way. And it could also be a mental error. There could be some fakes. There could be other things that happen that gets you to the spot where you want to be ahead of that person. So we're going to throw up a couple of video clips and show some examples of mismatches utilizing height. We'll switch up here to our video. And like I said, we're going to have some video clips here for our USA men. And so this first one, we're going to be talking about Josh Turek. We'll bring it back here to the very beginning of the video. And you're going to see Josh, he's going to drive low to the left low block while Steve Sirio's up here 3-point line plus. You can see that Steve has eyes on him, knows that he's going in for that one-on-one play. Josh's going to attack the low block, communicate with Steve that he wants the ball on the inside and get that post up. Let's play that through. Okay, a couple of different things for mismatching on that. He obviously had a speed mismatch because he was able to get ahead of that person, get a little bit of wheel position on him. Also a height mismatch. It was really good height mismatch there. He established himself, rotated his body to square up, knocked that one down. Next clip is going to be Nate Hines, another big guy playing for USA. If we can bring that back to the beginning as well. So at the beginning of this play, you can see that Nate's got a little bit of a wheel advantage. He's got some positioning in on the small player here on top. He's going to cut that off and keep the pick while ball is driven down low. And then when he gets established inside, go ahead and play through. Squares himself up, positions himself for a post up on the inside. So again, another great height advantage play there. Now, the next one that we're going to talk about for assessing our matchups, this is going to be talking about is change of pace. So with change of pace, what we're trying to do is increase or decrease the speed to catch the defense out of position. A lot of times it's going to be in transition without the basketball, where you might be attacking somebody and you're keeping a normal pace, and then you just turn it up a little bit faster to catch that defender out of position. You could also slow down your position, making the defender comfortable, and then explode once again and try to go past them. This example here is going to be with Steve Sirio. He's currently defending on the high side of the shooter taking the shot, but you're going to notice if you watch Steve here, he's going to float through the middle of the court and attack a defender with change of pace. So let's play through on that. It's got a decent speed, slows down slightly, and then takes off again to try to get out in front of that defender. Let's play that again. Steve notices we have possession. A little hesitation, just allowing that class one to slow it down a little bit because the class one felt comfortable that he had position on Steve before he took that second push and took off. That slowing change of pace really allows him to take off on it. Okay. Ways in which to train this and work on this, so I think would be really good for you guys at home, is working on half court toe or a quarter court type of sprint play. Some way that you could be doing some training where you could be pushing really hard, back off about, going from 100% to maybe a 60%, and then exploding through again and another 100% in that change of pace. We train that with our chair skills in a half court toe setting where someone might be holding onto the back of your chair, and you pull them until half court. And then once you get to half court, they let go, and you've got to be explosive and change that pace. So easy ways of being able to do that here at home. Next thing we're going to be talking about is learning the opponent that we have, their tendencies. So what they like to do and how do we evaluate that? So let's see that a lot of times they turn in where they're turning and showing their foot plate to us. That's a way that we can show a fake, get them to turn in and attack in that position. Other ways can be that they reach quickly or maybe they don't jump well. There's certain tendencies that you can see after multiple plays that you want to utilize. A lot of times we'll get so wrapped up in what's happening in the game, we don't realize that the matchup that we have does certain things over and over again, which is an advantage for you. So be able to take notes on that, mental notes. The next thing we're going to be talking about is keeping space versus penetration. It's two different schools of basketball that can be wrapped up in one game, and it might be one coach plays one thing more than another, but you can utilize both to really have a huge advantage in the offense when you're assessing a matchup. So creating space is going to be creating picking angles, having certain options, and then just keeping away from the sideline so that you're able to have attacks on the right and left side of that defender. Flipping it to penetration, penetration is going to be one where you're going hard to the basket, making the defender have to make a decision, and then you're able to go the other direction. We've got two video clips that are going to be coming up here next that are going to be talking about cutting and that are going to give examples of doing that. So let's look at this first one. Great, let's bring that back. So we're watching, we know the ball's here on the left side with Matt Scott, but Josh Turk's going to be up here in the right elbow. He knows he has a matchup with a lower classification player, and just watch when he first initiates his space with this individual. that person's going to commit to one direction. He's going to show a fake in that direction so they stay that way, and then he attacks the opposite and makes them skinny going down the middle. Let's go and go with that. Little fake to the right, attacks the left, and gets an open gap inside. So that's a way of penetrating the key while getting an opportunity because you're freezing the defender to get the look. Let's go to the next one. Watching Matt Scott with a hesitation play at the top. Great, let's come back with that. So we got Matt Scott at the top. Again, classification difference. He thinks he's got a little bit of speed on him. You can also see the eyes of the defenders. You got the defender here at the top, one that's on the offside with Gooch, along with the two that are on ball side. All four of them are watching ball. So Matt's going to take advantage of that. He initially has his chair facing away from the ball, which if we play just for a second and pause, you can see that defender turns his chair to react to that right side attack. When he turns, that opens up the door for Matt to take off on it. And notice the change of pace explosion that comes off of Matt's read there too. Awesome. Okay, so that's what we're talking about with assessing our different matchups. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move over to the whiteboard and we're gonna talk about some post moves and positions. All right, so now we can see on the whiteboard, we're gonna have one of 6 different moves that we're gonna talk about in the post. The last couple of plays that we've seen have been happening either through the elbow or through the side of the key. And a lot of these moves are gonna be happening in the post, which is gonna be down here on the low block, either right or left side. These moves can also happen elsewhere on the court. They can be on the, the high side of the key or even through the free throw line, but the majority of these moves are gonna be happening from bigs on the low block. It doesn't have to be that way. And also classification-wise, there's a lot of class 1s and lower classifications that are able to run post moves and plays like this. But we're going to walk through each one and go through what needs to be happening on those. So the first one we're going to talk about on the post moves is the cut. All right, so we're going to say that there is a defender that's going to be sitting here on the low block, and then we have our offensive player that's going to be facing up on the outside of the key. The idea is that if there's somebody here on their team that's got the basketball and they want to make a read, they're looking to cut. That's going to be where they make a direction. They're going to make a cut over top of the defender on the high side where they're going to get wheel position on the front side of the chair and drive the chair over the top on the inside of the key. So they're going to be cutting over the top. They establish wheel position in front of the chair, of the defender's chair, and you're really trying to establish position in front of the defender's caster. Once you get that position, then you're able to drive it through. Some people, when they're running cuts, are able to get that position on the caster, hold that position on the caster until the offensive player, the passer, is ready to pass, and they'll drive over the top and inside so they can receive the ball on the inside. So that's our read for a cut. We're trying to establish position on the caster on the high side of it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a pivot. Right? So we talked about our cut. We got our cut there. Now we're going pivot. Same positioning that we had previously, but instead of trying to go on the high side, we're going to pivot and we're going to go on the back side of it. So knowing that we wanted to get a caster on the front side, this time when we get a backwards position, we're going to position ourselves to be on the back side of their large wheel. So catching on there. So if the defender were to pull backwards, they couldn't go back any further because we've established position. Once we've established that, the offensive player will rotate through and will tuck in from the underside so they can finish their play somewhere in this general area to get a position on the inside. So that's when they're going to be positioning in a pivot. Set ourselves back up here. So that is going to be the foundation of what we're working for here is our cut and our pivot. Now we've got power cut and power pivot. With power cut and power pivot, we've got our same defender that's matched up here, but we're going to be reading the defender's hands to see what they want to do and how they want to defend. So if we imagine in the most simple of terms, somebody that's going to be in a chair and we've got their positioning, they could have in their wheel, their hands could be positioned in multiple places depending on what they're going to do. Let's say that their hands, the defender's hands, are positioned in front of the chair, okay? If they're positioned in the front of the chair, it looks like they're prepared to pull backwards, which means they're going to be defending the pivot. If that's the reason, what they're going to do is we're going to be running a power cut. In a power cut scenario, and you're reading the hands here in the front, the offensive player is going to fake their hands backwards, right? So they fake their hands backwards, starting from the front, faking back. That makes the defender pull backwards and opens up space for a cut. So the defender fakes or rolls back because the offensive player faked back. And now our offensive player has their hands at the top of the wheels at 12 and is going to be able to push through the wheels to make the cut happen. So think about with a power cut, it's a fake backwards, drive forward. Fake backwards, drive forward into the cut. Now let's talk about a power pivot. If we know that a power cut is going to be positioned next to the defender and it's going to be a fake backwards cut forward, a power pivot is going to be a fake forward cut backwards. So now what we're doing as an offensive player is you're starting your hands at the top at 12, faking them forward so that the defender reads that and wants to drive forward to stop your cut. And once they do that, now then they've moved themselves forward and you as an offensive player have your hands lower on your wheel, you're in position, body position to pull back and pivot your chair on the inside for a power pivot. So again, reminding power cut is a fake backwards drive forward and a power pivot is a fake forward drive and a pivot back. Right? So now that we've talked about those 4 reads, the last 2 that we have on here are going to be our post up, check those off, our post up and our fadeaways. So with our post up and our fadeaways, we want to talk about establishing position on the person that's on the low. So let's say in this position, we've started facing up like we did before, but we want to stay in this position as a post up. Let's say that the defender is a smaller player. They may be a lower classification player. It's something that we feel comfortable shooting over that person. We can establish ourselves by pushing the chair with contact into the defender, facing the basket, holding ground. And then from this position, we have to communicate to the passer which hand that we want this ball to be passed into. The ball is going to be passed into this location, which is going to be the outside hand between the baseline and the offensive player. So we have the ability to catch it away from the defender. If we were to catch it in the front side, this defender could roll over the top and take it. So we don't want to do that. We throw it to the outside and we're communicating that we want this ball. We want it in our right hand. We want it on the low spot. This allows us to take advantage of those mismatches, but we're also making sure that this person is holding their ground while the ball is in the air. Holding your ground and making sure that this defender is not able to push you out of the spot that you're in. A lot of times for junior players, they may be in the post up, they get to that low spot, they put both their hands in the air and they're calling for the ball. And in doing so allows you to be loose and they push you out of your spot and the ball goes out of bounds. So making sure you hold your ground just before the ball gets to you, catching and establishing your shot. So that's what we're working on for the post up. And then we talk about the fadeaway, right? I guess we still have our passer here. We'll still consider our passer here. We've established our position facing the basket, holding our ground, but now the defender that's on us may be the same size or larger, okay? And they might be able to defend us either with a tilt or they might be pushing towards and going after us. This is what's going to happen is we're going to communicate with the passer that we want the ball slightly behind us. And if we get the ball behind us, then as the ball's in the air, we can make a slight pull backwards, catch the ball as we fade backwards and take the shot that way, establishing a little bit of space or a gap between our defender. And that goes to the fadeaway. We're going to watch some video clips on post up and fadeaway here in a second, but it's really important to know that when you think about a fadeaway isn't like an explosive pull backwards and you're flying out of bounds. It should be a small pull, just enough to establish some space between you and your defender so that you can get an easier shot off. So you have a light pull on that. Okay, so just running through once again with our different reads here, because we've got a lot of them and it could change varying what's happening in it. We know that when we're positioned, we're facing up, and we know that we've got our passer here at the top, and we have the 4 main reads of cuts and pivots that we could do. We can cut high by establishing position on the caster. We can pivot low when we've established position on the big wheel behind. And then we can use both of those reads in power reads when we fake them. You fake forward, cut back, that's our pivot. You fake back, cut forward, that's our power cut. And then we know that the other two are going to be our post up where we're facing toward the basket. This might be holding our ground for a shot, or we might have our fade where we pull back a little bit, create some separation. All right, let's go to some video clips here. And we're going to look at a couple of post plays. This first one is with Trayvon. And Trayvon's going to do a great job of penetrating the key as a big post player, and then is going to have a fade away from it because he knows that a large defender is coming to defend, even though initially he goes with the post against a small. So let's go ahead and let's play that one. Yep, let's bring that back. So he's attacked in the inside. He's got two defenders on him, but he knows that that larger defender is right there with him. He wants to get some separation. And notice that he holds his ground as he's fading backwards, so that fade goes for a really long time. We don't have to go that long of a fade, but he could feel that that larger defender was trailing and was following behind him. In front of him. So he wanted to make sure that he had that separation. So he was patient with it and allowed the fade to continue until he got to a range that he felt comfortable. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. We got Brian Bell here. We'll bring it back here to the beginning on a freeze. So we have Brian and Steve that's over here on the right side. You can see that Brian he's trying to deny the high jump in this kind of screen read action. When he does it, and when he denies it, but they still jump over the top, also the class 1 low is jumping a little bit and gives him the opportunity to drive to the basket. Instead of driving the basket, he wants to reestablish space. So you're going to see him go toward the baseline and kind of create some space between him and Steve. So we can play through on that. Once he establishes that and a defender rotates over, he catches the ball in a fade, and because it's low in the shot clock, he's going to go with the fade. Brian is a unique anomaly when it comes to some fadeaway, in which we're going to see probably towards the end of this, where he's really comfortable in a fade. So a lot of times he'll add fade to his shot. Now, instead of showing a lot of fading that's got a lot of action, like these two, where they were pulling back really hard, now let's look at a couple of the GB players that we're looking at in this game, and they're going to be working on getting spacing with small fades to try to establish position. So this next one here is going to be Ian. He's got a smaller player that was on the low block initially, but you can see that Brian came over to defend. Because of that size, he's actually going to fade toward the baseline to try to get away from Brian and free up his right shooting hand. Really light, small fade to try to create separation from the defender. Next one here is again going to be on a smaller player, but with Phil, Phil's going to be using this fade, a very small fade, to be able to square his shoulders up to get a better shot. When he initially established position in the post up on the low block, you're going to see when we play through here for a second and pause. He's not in the right position to be able to get a shot off. His right shoulder is facing the sideline, so he's not square to get a good shot. He's gonna use the fade to pull back with his left hand and square up his shoulder to get a shot off. Cool. Okay, so that's what we were talking about for different fades and post-ups on it. There's a variety of different things that you can do. And I know one of the questions that kind of came up to you is the position that it's in. Does it have to always be on the low block or where it is? It can be on both low blocks, but it can happen at both elbows. It can be happening on the free throw line. All of these reads can happen no matter where you're at, as long as you're trying to think about what's happening with it and then how the matchup works for you. If this matchup is a slower or smaller player than you are and you're able to try to get a power cut and power pivot, as a player, I would communicate to the ball handler, I have a mismatch, give me some time to be able to get inside. And so with that communication, the offense might be able to slow down, have some more control, and then you could be able to get your power cut, power pivot, or maybe a regular cut, regular pivot, get inside and establish that shot. Right. Now we're going to be assessing other matchups, okay? Assessing other matchups. And I kind of just jumped into this, I guess the flow of everything, is using voice fakes to assess defense. So when we're set up in one of these 6 reads, you could always communicate to the offense about wanting to do something before you do it to see what the defender does. We've always been in situations in games where you're matched up next to a defender and the defender's just sitting and waiting to see what's going to be happening next. You know, when the ball comes over, that's when they start playing basketball. But you could match up next to the person and communicate to the ball handler, hey, see baseline. And if I say see baseline or see low and communicate that way, what the defender is going to be thinking is, oh, this person's going to be trying to cut baseline or going to cut low on me. Let me defend and back up and protect that low. And just by doing that, they've opened up an opportunity for you to do a cut. You literally didn't have to do any of the power cut or power pivot. You just used your voice in a voice fake to make that happen. All right. Other big things that we're going to be talking about is attacking backs. Let's move back over to the whiteboard and we'll talk about attacking backs without the ball. So we are going to put our key up, and just as Steph had mentioned yesterday, we are coaches, not artists. So we are going to do the best we can to draw what we need to draw to show where we're at. We're going to have the same type of position. Let's say that we've got the defender low and we've got our offensive player match up, just going with consistency on it. And we have a matchup of another defender that's going to be facing out, and this is our teammate that's got the ball. We're always looking for this defender to be showing their back. And notice that in this position, if I'm the offensive player looking for a pick, I can't necessarily see that person's back because the back is facing that way. But as soon as my teammate in this position turns and faces this direction with the ball, now that defender should match up and change their direction the other way. And now I'm looking for that back to attack, okay? So you can look for those multiple backs there. There's other options where this ball, let's say, is here with our teammates, and there's another defender that is defending this way, wants them to go to their left and not to their right. And now this teammate is able to see this back, and they're able to come across and try to set picks on backs. So that's something that we always talk about when we are teaching our Illini athletes on court, is when you don't have the basketball and you're working in a team concept, we're always looking to attack backs. I see a back and I attack it. So that's one of the little nuggets that we've been using for that. The other thing that we're talking about is creating space between our defenders to put matchups on an island. This really shows the spacing that we would be doing in our college settings when we're trying to run some high-low or low to high picks. We're really trying to establish a lot of space to isolate these defenders so they feel like they're on an island. I know that for the majority of our junior players that might be watching and taking notes on this, offenses for us usually look like 2 defenders back to back on the spot. We've got one offensive player that's diving in between those 2 in a screen read, and we have one behind. Everybody is so close together that there's no real spacing to be able to make any of those defenders uncomfortable. But as soon as we take these offensive and defensive players and we set up the same post positions that we had previously, but now we take our other offensive player and let's say we bring them out here, and there's one that is a defender there and the ball is separated this way. Now this defender has a lot of open space around it that makes them uncomfortable. They could get picked from the right or the left side, don't really know what's going to be happening on it. It also makes the help have to be delayed. So we may have some defenders over here on the other side that are facing, that are in the key because the ball is not here and they need to help, but because there's so much space, they have to take more time to get out to help you rather than being close and connected together. So that's another advantage of creating that open space and make the defense on an island. Cool. Okay. Now let's go back to our main camera. And we're going to talk about with the ball action now. So let me grab our ball here and talk about our on-ball stuff. So some of the things that we're going to talk about with the basketball, since we've done a lot without the basketball, this is going to be talking about is protecting the ball. So the first thing that we talk about with protecting the ball is making sure that your body as an offensive player is always between the basketball and the defender. So if I'm going to be having my defender here on my right side, I've got to make sure the ball is in my left hand. It's with good spacing, and I have control over it. I know a lot of you out there that are doing ball handling are still having to look at the ball when you're dribbling on it. We've got to work on doing some ball handling to keep our eyes up and notice what's happening next to us, having our body between the defender and the basketball. Okay. Other thing we want to make sure to do is we have proper spacing as well. So we know that the defender wants to close space and they want to make chair contact on you. So keeping yourself moving and keeping yourself in open space really helps to protect the basketball. Now let's talk about with body language with the basketball. So body language says so much. I know that we've talked about a lot of times with those that have attended our individual camps in the past and our premier camps in the past, is that 97% of what you say is what your body language is, and it's like 3% is what you're actually saying. So think about what the defender sees when you're doing things and what that is telling them. So the first thing we're talking about is our eyes. So we just mentioned before, if I'm handling the ball and I'm just looking at the ball, dribbling it, looking down, probably means I'm not very comfortable with my ball handling. And then what's that encourage the defense to do? It encourages the defense to be more aggressive on me to try to take the ball from him because I don't feel confident in him. So let's make sure that we've got our eyes up when we're handling the ball. We're also having our eyes look up across the floor to see if any of our teammates are available for a pass or there's options for us for a dribble drive or some kind of action. Also having the ball in a dribble and eyes up makes the defender come to the position we want them to be, that then encourages our teammates to get picks. So we want to really make sure that our eyes are in the right spot. Having the ball above our head. We've all been in that position where we get stuck in a certain spot of the court, and instead of having the ball in a dribble or having it handled, we put the ball above our head and we start to look to pass off, right? As soon as the ball is above our heads, we don't have access to do anything with our chair. So you're literally stuck in the position that you're in. This could be something that works well on an able-bodied setting because they have a pivot foot to be able to move around and get that ball out. But as soon as we put ball above our head, we are locked in place. So making sure that the ball stays established below your shoulders or at your shoulder level to be able to pass makes it more efficient for you to be able to handle the ball. This is the next challenge for you with your ball handling that you're doing at home, is if you can take the ball and work on ball handling with your right and left hand and working on some behind the back stuff to be able to bring it around from one side to the other, that's going to make it more convenient for you to get away from defender and pressure to get that ball out to somebody else. So really working on ball handling in that direction to make sure that we don't get stuck on an island. Okay. Passing and shot fakes. I would love to have you guys challenge yourself to figure out what it looks like when you shoot. All of you have cell phones that you're able to use and you can do videos and pictures on. Set it up or have somebody be able to record you when you get some shooting in to see what your shooting range looks like and when your shooting form looks like. If I were to be doing a shot fake to encourage a defender to come out or maybe to sell something to get a defender to make a mistake, if my shot was a normal follow through, but my shot fake was just that action, I would be sitting there doing this action over and over again and the defender would just look at me like, what are you doing? So making sure that your shot fake looks like your shooting form when you go up into it to get them to engage, right? Remember that you've been assessing your matchup, but your matchup is also assessing you, right? Last thing is going to be getting comfortable handling the ball when you have a defender on you with some pressure, both dominant and non-dominant. So being able to handle the ball that way is really big. I think it's an easy thing for you to work on, having a brother or sister be able to defend you and put some pressure on you to be able to handle the ball and switch through. Or just handling in general. I think it's really great to be able to handle the ball when you're watching TV or hanging out at home on the couch, just getting touches in and handling the ball and challenging yourself with things where it might be some one-handed stuff. It could be just some behind the back stuff that you're working through, anything that makes you comfortable with the ball so that you don't have to worry about handling the ball when you attack. Right. Okay, and now let's talk about space and movement. We're going to go back over here to the whiteboard and talk about the 3 things that defenders are trying to get you to do by limiting you in doing these actions. So we're thinking in the mind of a defender so that we can be better offensive players in a one-on-one. So the 3 things that defenders are trying to eliminate. The first thing that they're trying to eliminate is your push or movement, okay? So the first thing they're trying to do is to get you to stop your push or stop you from moving in general, right? If they're able to stop your chair, now they can move on to another part of it. So when we are focused on not being stopped with our push and our movement, we've got to make sure that we're keeping 6 inches away from our defender at all times. Being able to stay moving right and left, fluid, and staying away from the sidelines. Staying away from the sidelines, because you get stuck with a sideline, that becomes an extra defender that can help to stop your chair. The second thing that they're trying to stop is your pass, right? So once they've stopped your chair, they don't want you to pass the ball either. They want you to keep the ball there and be able to stop you in that way. So we've talked about this earlier when handling the ball. We've got to be sure that we are efficient in our passing with both right and left hand. And that's baseball passes, that's hook passes, and it's also behind the back passes. Either behind the back with a scoop pass or it's behind the back with a bounce pass. All really great things to practice if you've got a brick wall or just some kind of wall outside that you're going to be using to ball handle, and practice these different types of passes. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be and the less you'll have to think when you're doing it. Okay? And the last thing that they're trying to stop is you shooting. Okay? So if they're able to stop your chair, stop you from passing, and stop you from shooting, you then become closed off. But there's priorities when the defense defends you in these ways, all right? So let's say that their number one is they want to make sure that you are stopped and they don't want you to shoot. But in doing both of those, they have passing lanes they've made available because they're not focused on stopping passes. So that's the angle that you've got to utilize. So if I want to shoot the ball, but knowing that the third option they're allowing me to do is pass, I want to pass fake to a teammate to make them bite on that, which then gives me an opportunity to shoot. Or I might pump fake on a shot that somebody's really defending my shot, but might not be controlling my chair well. And when we get them up in the air to defend a shot, now I can put the ball to the floor and I can get a push going, right? Utilizing what the defense is doing to you so that you can be a better offensive player in a one-on-one setting, right? So we've got one more clip that's going to be talking a lot about these different reads. So we're going to go to this last video clip. And this is when we're going to play full speed, and then we got a little bit of a slow motion action on it. So starting off right here, you can already see that our USA men have a back pick here in the backcourt. So having a 4-on-4 setting now allows us to spread out the defense and have a lot more space. We know space is perfect for offense, and it's what we're really trying to do. The only way we're going to be able to keep space and make sure that defenders are not able to help is by making sure that all of our offense are engaging. You can see on the far left side, just underneath the scoreboard, we have one of our USA players that's pulling a defender out all the way out the three-point line in the corner. And then we've got the two here in the front, looks like Trey and Mikey Pay, that are going to be pulling their defenders over here to the left side and engaging, which now allows for Jake Williams with the ball to engage his defender one-on-one. Let's play through and see. Okay, so now we're gonna go through this a little bit in slow motion. So ball gets over here to Jake. Our other three USA players are all engaging their defenders. So let's go and play through on that. Once Jake receives the ball, he can see, stop there. You can see that the defender that he has speed and he has size over. He's coming at them with speed, and what he's going to be able to do is he's going to be able to freeze the defender with his speed directly at the person. A lot of times, players in junior level or developmental level might take this ball toward the point so that the offensive player that's in the corner comes over and gets a pick for him. But what Jake understands is if you go directly at this defender and make a minor adjustment, a minor fake, that defender is either going to bite on it or they're going to hold their ground. If they bite on it, you know exactly where to go because you'll go the opposite. If they don't move, you can go the direction where the fake was and you should have that lane. So just watch here in this last second, you're going to see a minor fake. See how there's a little shoulder action to get the defender to turn and he drives to the basket. Let's bring that back about halfway. Okay. Attacks to freeze up the defender, minor shoulder fake and pause. And now he's engaging with change of pace. He's put the ball to the floor and he's going harder. He's increasing his speed after the minor slowdown of the fake. And when he attacks and penetrates the basket, He's pulling the defender, the big defender, from the right low block. Let's play it just for 1 second and go and stop. So now that he's pulled the defender from the right side, he's going to make sure that the ball is under control, brings it to the left hand, and then finishes it back with the right to go up for the layup. And is able to finish inside. Okay. Really great example of utilizing space, attacking one-on-one matchups, using fakes, using change of pace, and then using ball handling with both hands to make sure you have control of the ball when you're going for the basket. Awesome. Okay. I think it would be really great if we threw a couple of these videos here before we jump into questions. So we've got a couple of other videos that we want to play that are a little bit higher level of performance, but still really good examples of what we've been talking about today. So Trayvon is now going into the post and establishing a post position on a smaller player, but he was able to do it with the basketball. We know we talked about a lot of our post play action without the ball, but he's able to establish it with the basketball, and really great finish, holding follow through on there on that shot. Drives in, keeping the ball outside, away from the defender, able to finish on the inside. Okay. So let's bring it back here to the beginning of this one. This one is a really great example of Matt Scott using change of pace to attack a defender with the basketball now. So he's going to start with a normal, I would say probably his 60 to 70% speed, and then you're going to see an explosive push or two that makes him go past the defender and finish with the layup. This is an example of change of pace. There's the explosiveness. Notice the defender, when he started to slow down, the defender started to slow down. The defender got comfortable in his position, thought he had it, even went to go switch and help on somebody that didn't have the basketball. And Matt was able to finish the layup with an explosive push. Okay, we're gonna go with another one with Matt, change of pace. This time he's kind of cutting through traffic, but he's still going to use the same technique of going with a 60 to 70% speed and then explosively pushing with 1 to 2 pushes. Play that again. Yeah. And now, even though the layup was not a finish, it wasn't a make, you can notice from both video clips, the first one he finished with a right-hand layup, and this one he's taking a left-handed layup. Matt's naturally a left-handed ball handler and shooter, but being able to use right and left hands when you're attack is huge for your success overall for individual offense. All right? And now let's look at these last two, that these are post plays for fading and getting post matchups. But again, we're going to be watching Brian Bell do this. And this is where more of the talent side of just playing around with different types of fades brings more tools to your toolbox. So let's watch Brian here at the free throw line. He's going to get established with the ball, and a big is going to be playing defense on him. And he's going to turn and he's going to do what we would consider a side fade. He's going to fade from the middle of the free throw line to the right elbow, still establishing position with his fade and knocking the shot down. Pulls back, under control, high follow through, and finish. And now Brian's also going to work on a baseline or a low block fade here on this one. But because he's established, he's extended so far out, they've jumped really hard on the screen read, and he's down here on the low block. He's actually going to fade toward the baseline, which is squaring up his right shoulder to give him an easier shot, but then also keeping him between the defender and the ball. Right. Two examples of very high level fading action that is something that you all ultimately could get to as long as you are taking the steps that we built here and working on it a ton of time. Right. So that's what we got for our one-on-one offensive play. I'd love to cover some questions. What kind of questions do we have here? Do we have video of all of these post moves that you can show? We don't necessarily have the video set up like we do in our DVDs. There are some instruction on post play in our DVD set, which is available on eBay. If you were to go on eBay and just look up Illinois Wheelchair Basketball DVD set, we have a 3 DVD instructional set that's available. What we are hoping for and we're looking forward to is we're going to be building and working on more videos in the future to figure out, what else we need to teach to help out the basketball community. So we'd love to know more about that. If you guys have any ideas, please contact us through our social media so we can work more on that. What's a good way to remind yourself what to use when for different moves? Okay, great. So let's talk about how we recognize what's going to be happening and how the defense is going to look. So if I'm going to be the defender, okay, so I'm the defender, the sign that's here behind me is the basket and I'm defending it. I'm looking up and this is the 3-point line that's here ahead of me. And you are the offensive player that's playing next to me. So you're matched up here next to me. We're both looking forward and you want to run one of these moves against me. So let's consider it being just a cut. If it's a cut, you're going to be establishing position in front of my chair. And I'm even going to come back up here a little bit further so that we can see a little bit of matchups that way. So let's say that this basketball chair is the matchup. This is your position in, and they're establishing position where they're slightly in front of my chair. If they've got position over top of my caster, now when they go to take the push, they can ride over top of my foot plate and rotate inside. The second one would be the pivot, all right? And let me rotate so you can make sure and see what's happening here. We're side by side. The chair is gonna rotate over the front of the caster. That's positioned for the cut. They can also get position behind. And notice that the ball chair wheel is behind me. And now in this position, they can rotate and push me forward and rotate and pivot underneath behind me to the basket. So that would be our pivot. Now let's talk about the power cut and the power pivot. So we have the power and we have the cut and the pivot down, but now it's all about reading me and what my body position is and what I want to do. So let's think about my position defensively, and I've got my hands all the way forward. If I have my hands all the way forward, that looks like I want to pull backwards. My body language shows I want to pull back. So if I'm matched up next to this guy and I'm playing defense and I'm forward, what they're going to want to do is fake backwards because they want me to pull backwards. And how they're going to do that is with their outside hand, they're going to take it from low and slide it up to a 12 o'clock position right here at the top. And when they do that and they go to slide back, they're going to look like they're getting ready to pivot around backwards, which is going to make me want to pull back and defend them. And notice I opened up all this space in front to be able to cut over the top and in, right? So that's our power cut. So defenders facing forward, hands are forward. That's when we want to do a power cut, which is a fake back, cut forward, right? Now, the other one would be is if I had my hands back like this and I look like I wanted to move forward, I want to do a power pivot, which means I'm going to want to go forward. So this offensive player fakes forward with their hands. They slide their hands forward and fake, which makes me want to shoot forward and stop them. And when I do that, I've opened up space behind me for them to pivot and go inside. All right, so that's our power pivot and our power cut. So it's all about the hand position of the defender and reading what they're doing on it. Hope that clears up a little bit about the different reads that you can see on there. And it's going to come with a lot of practice, a lot of different movements and things, but try not to make those actions on the high and the low and the pivot be your actions. We're really trying to get the defender to make those reads. Let me get in a position where I slide forward and I slide back and I slide forward and slide back, faking and making reads and see if they bite on it. And if they don't bite on the high or the low, now I know my pick and my cut and my pivot are open, because if the defender is not going to move, I should be able to cut and pivot on them. Right. Did you play in Rio? I did not play in Rio. The only USA basketball action that I have is I was very fortunate to be an assistant coach with the USA women during the London cycle. Coach Steph Wheeler is on the call here with us too, and she was the head coach of our women's team in the Rio Games, which pulled gold. So yes, that's our experience that way. Do you get players practicing all the moves themselves in a set so they can do them on their own? Yeah, no, that's a good question. We're usually working on cut and pivot first and understanding those reads first. So that set is the first one we want to get comfortable with. And then we'll build in power cut, power pivot after that. And then the post move is probably the 5th option that you would add in. And then you get comfortable with fading outside of that. I think they all need to be a progression and a building block. The first 2 would be the cut and the pivot and building into the power moves. As a class 1 who has CP and only 1 good working hand, which offensive players do you think would be the most beneficial for me when I help my teammates? Okay, so lower classification players working on a power cut and power pivot action that may not have full use or mobility of their body. I think a lot of times the fakes are probably the best to engage the person into what they're going to do. So I would say a lot of times when the matchup would happen for somebody that was a lower classification is that they would have a slight action more with their body, because that's what's going to look like they're going to be making the motion. They're probably not going to have an explosive hand, but they might be moving their body into it. And if I were to show this, I would encourage the defender to come up, and then that allows me to go into my pivot and go under. I know a lot of times for the college division and sort of higher levels, our lower class players are usually pickers and sealers in their roles. And so a lot of times your power cut and power pivot won't be an action for you to shoot inside, but it might be a read for you to hold that position for a big to follow you inside for a seal. Something that will hopefully get you here in our 2-and-2 action later. What reads can you make after you attack a defender's back? Awesome. So what you're going to be doing is after you set that pick and you're attacking a person's back, you want to establish position facing the basket and then reading where those opening gaps are. A lot of times for me with the U of I guys, what we talk about is when we've established wheel position, we set that pick, we want to close it off to make sure that they can't back up and get back inside. And then when they rotate in, you're keeping it almost like a shadow, one-on-one shadow going back and forth until an opening gap has happened or defense brings help to you knowing that one of your teammates is open. So we're really looking at holding the pick, establishing wheel position facing in, and then reading what the defense is going to do from there. Right. Drills for learning these. One-on-one post play is a big one that we use a lot. Just very simple to have 1 offense, 1 defense, 1 passer, and rotate them through on that. One of the drills that former coach for Alabama and was coaching with GB women, Miles Thompson, would use a drill that we consider as Mississippi drill, where really it's the same reads, 1 offense, 1 defense, and a passer, but you do it in a group setting. So I would have 2 offense, 2 defense, 1 on either side of the low block, and everybody else on the team would have a basketball around the 3-point line or close to half court. And the person on offense would have to communicate who they wanted the ball from, and then the outlet pass would pass to them. Let's go to the whiteboard so we can kind of draw it up a little bit, make it easier to understand. So we would have our key, our 3-point line, and let's say we've got our half court line here too. So we'd have a lot of people here with basketballs, and we would have 2 defenders on the low blocks and 2 offensive players that would be matched up, 1 on either side. And they would be working on our power cut, power pivot, their pivots and cuts, fadeaways, whatever they want to be working on, what they read on depending on the matchup. They would communicate to one of these players who wanted the ball. They would receive that outlet from the pass, whether they cut or they posted on the outside. And then defender would grab the rebound and defender would rotate back to the free throw line, half court line. Offense would become defense and the passer would become the new offense, and you cycle people through that way. So we'll do that with 2 sets, maybe 3 sets, or we'll go full court and we'll have 2 pairs on one end, 2 pairs on the other end. Do you have any drills or have you updated the DVDs? The drills, there are drills that are on the DVD sets, especially the 3rd one that has a lot of chair skill type drills that are set up for that. But like I said before, we are working to establish and work on more videos to be posting in the future. And it will really come down to our COVID-19 restrictions and what we're able to do on court. We are crossing fingers that we'll be able to have access to the court sometime in the near future so that we can get some of our athletes and coaches on floor, record some film, and give you guys some examples of how to do this stuff and be creative with our drills. But yeah, it really comes down to being creative and understanding what you're trying to work on with our athletes to get them pretty prepared for the game. I know we talked about it during our practice plan session yesterday with our coaching clinic, but it's really trying to be reverse engineering what's going to be happening for the drill itself. Is that, okay, in the game, we need to be able to work on better pivoting. So if that's the case, how do we replicate that in a practice setting? It would be by working on a Mississippi drill, or it could be just a one-on-one gameplay. A lot of times we like to have our athletes do it under time restraints. So they might have a 15-second shot clock to be able to get a power cut or a power pivot in. Another one, really good one, is touch the spot. Maybe we can go back to the whiteboard and talk about that. It's truly just setting people up on the key. And let's say that we have our offense and our defense established here, and we're going to go with midline is our out of bounds, but there is a med ball or a cone or something that's established right here in the middle of the key, low end of the middle of the key. And we're trying to get this offensive player to be able to touch that med ball or that cone before they're able to get the ball, or they're just trying to get to that spot in a certain amount of time so they can work on penetrating the key and getting a better look. So imagine a 15-second shot clock. This offensive player is trying to do a power cut, power pivot, something to get in and make contact with that ball. And then if they do or they don't, they would cycle out and a new person or a new matchup would come in. So we would consider that touch the spot would be one of the plays there. Really great for one-on-one, really good for 2-on-2, all the way up to 5-on-5, truly, to be able to get some work in there. Are we doing offense or defense tomorrow? So tomorrow we'll be doing 2-on-2 offense and getting more expanded into our offensive set that way. But that will be more based in individual skills for our individual camp. So we'll be talking about the very basics of working on 2-on-2 screen reads and high-low, low-high picks and what works for different positions in those roles. So that'll be more establishing on a individual camp basis. How much time do you work on one-on-one offense during the season? We work on one-on-one stuff a lot during the early part of the season, where we're able to get a little bit more experience for the athletes on what those reads are in a slower setting and then build up to those. So early season is usually where we do the most of that. Okay. Well, cool. Well, thank you all for tuning in on this. I think we can come back to myself here for the camera shot. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, again, thank you for this. I know that we'll be running a coaching clinic session here in the afternoon, and then I'll be coming with 2-on-2 offense tomorrow, talk a little bit more on that. If you guys have any questions in the future, please let us know through social media. That would be great to contact us that way, and we can go from there. Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.